anything they choose.
So why am I running for delegate? Basically, I want to make a difference, and I want to help bring the values and principles that you share with me into legislation and to make it better for Virginia and the 48th District. I want to fight with Governor McAuliffe for the Medicaid expansion. I think it's tragic this is not happening. I want to fight with the Attorney General for marriage equality. And I want to fight for the DREAM Act, as we just talked about. And also, something we haven't talked about is to work to reduce this crushing burden of student loan debt that so many young folks and families have to struggle with. But I'm not only running for that reason, I'm running for the future. And we've talked about it, to build a Democratic majority. I want to put the Democrats more on the offense. Our delegation does a great job often playing defense against the Tea Party Republicans. We need to go on the offense. We need a majority. I'm a plan for that.
I'd like to thank my fellow candidates today and thank you, George, for moderating this debate. We're all running here to replace Bob Brink, and throughout his 17 years of service, Bob has been a fierce advocate for progressive values. He believes in the effectiveness of government, and he has a strong moral character. And to realize his belief and his strong moral character, he's worked with our elected officials to represent Arlington's interests in Richmond. He's helped bring resources home. And he's been a great listener and done his research and approached this position with a thoughtful and conscientious manner. I believe that I can bring a similar perspective to Richmond, one that is inclusive, thorough, and effective. My values will guide me as I serve you in Richmond. I hope I've earned your endorsement today. I hope I've earned your first place vote. If you're supporting one of these other fine candidates, I ask for your second place vote. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you today. I'm a lifelong Virginian. I grew up in the southern part of the state, and I live in the northern part of the state. I very much appreciate the opportunity that I will have with my husband to raise a family here. And growing up in Southern Virginia and seeing the quality of the public schools that I had, and then going to the University of Virginia and competing with my Northern Virginia classmates, I had a lot of catching up to do. And so, I think it is something that fundamentally I will be an advocate for in making sure education is funded. It was endorsed by Delegate Bob Kopika. I'll be working with him definitely on those efforts. I'm going to be a personal advocate for Medicaid expansion. I have a younger brother with a disability. I've seen his quality of life affected by the Medicaid hours that were cut by Governor Bob McDonnell. I will be an advocate not only for raising the minimum wage, but a living wage. I am a graduate of Leadership Online in 2014 because I definitely want to understand more about how I can effectively serve this community. And I will work hard to make sure the House Democratic Caucus has what it needs to make sure we have representation across the state.
I feel like we could have done a lot of this debate by the lightning round. We agree on so many things. So what sets each of us apart? What sets me apart? I'll tell you 3 reasons why I want to be your delegate, why I would be honored by your first choice vote tomorrow. And it's these 3 reasons. Every day I'm in the trenches of serving our community, whether it's a civic association president, nonprofit board member, or in my community, in my professional job, working on behalf of an institute of higher education. I want to put my passion that I have and put my values into action on behalf of you. That passion and my ability to effectively communicate that passion to diverse groups of people and advocate on behalf of diverse groups of people is what sets me apart. And the third thing is my roots and my values were shaped in this community. I went to Yorktown High School. I went to Overley Pool. I coached at Donaldson Run. I'm of this community, and I stand for it, and I will stand for it in Richmond. All I ask is that you stand with me, and let's do this together.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will not find, and you cannot elect a delegate more into responsiveness and access than I. All of you got my mailers. I gave out my cell phone number, and frankly, a lot of you used it. I am into access. You will be able to be in touch with me. I told you about my values as I began my comments this evening, and my priority will be to take those values and represent them and advance them in Richmond on behalf of all of the 48th District. On Wednesday, I talked about the elephant in the room. If you were there, that elephant is my address. I'm going to mix my metaphor and tell you it's not the elephant in the room, it's a red herring. It is a red herring. Just less than a month ago, Arlington elected an Alexandrian to represent it in Congress. Jim Moran, of course, has lived in Alexandria his whole life. Barbara Favola represents half a district of Arlington, half a district in Fairfax. And no one in Fairfax believes she does anything but a fabulous job of representing our jurisdiction. The fact is, I know the values of the 48th district, and I will represent those values in Richmond on your behalf. I ask for your vote tomorrow. Thank you very much.
I want to thank all of you for coming today. The Arlington Fairfax Democrats, Senator Adam Evan, and the other community leaders who have endorsed my candidacy, Moderator George Burke, and my fellow candidates. Although this election cycle does not serve any of us well, this short election cycle, I hope that I've demonstrated to you tonight, or today, this evening, my commitment, my expertise, and my strong desire to represent you effectively in Richmond. As a 6-year-old immigrant, I dreamed about making life better, and I came to love the United States and all that it stands for. As someone committed to public service, representing you in Richmond will empower me to fight for the opportunities that Northern Virginians value. I respectfully ask for your vote tomorrow. If you've already selected a candidate, I would be honored to be your second choice. And whatever the outcome tomorrow, I promise to continue to do everything possible to fulfill the ideals that I've outlined here today.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for your time and attention. It's a most impressive exercise of the democracy for all of us to be here today on this beautiful afternoon. I believe that I offer you a very different set of experience. Each one of us is unique in our own way, but I come to you with experience in the classroom as a teacher, as a member of the military, and as a mother of 3 adopted children, in addition to my experience as a peace builder. And the way that affects my ability to govern in Richmond is that I understand the need to reach across the aisle. And I understand that negotiation does not mean compromise. It is a way to achieve the issues, the values, the way to address your concerns while working with others who may sit on the other side of the aisle who have the same concerns that you did. I'm committed to governing responsibly, with integrity. I'm committed to governing with collaboration and with humility. Thank you.
I thank all the candidates, but first I have a request of the audience. You were all here. You saw these folks answer not questions that they chose to answer, but questions that were posed for them. Hopefully it's given you at least a broad brush feeling about where these different candidates stand on different issues. The problem is the caucus, and ostensibly the election, is tomorrow. So I think it's important, and I suspect the candidates think it's important. I know the parties in Arlington and Fairfax think it's important that as many people as possible vote. Because it's the 4th of July weekend, because the time frame has been so compressed, you all have a responsibility to spread the word. Certainly you can spread the word about the candidate of your choice, but just as importantly, you have to spread the word that there are caucuses tomorrow and that people can walk in the door, cast their ballot, and walk out. It's not a 5-hour process that they have to sit in or get locked in or anything else. It'll literally take 5 to 10 minutes of their time. And I can assure you, I will make you this promise, there will be no lines at the polling place in Fairfax or in Arlington. So you need to be messengers. And we appreciate your participation as an audience. And certainly, again, I just want to reiterate, I think we have a pretty darn good stable of candidates. Now, Bob Brink's seat or shoes are hard to fill, but I suspect we have some candidates here over time that would certainly do a pretty good job of trying. So give them one more round of applause. And I want to hand this over to Kit Down.